Okay, here's a video on changing a charango string. So what you want to have are strings, something like scissors, or I use wire cutters, which is good to cut the string when you need to. And this here is a string winder. It's not necessary, but it can help because then you can use it to be quicker when you put the tension on the strings and wind them. Not necessary though. So when you choose your strings, on the back it will generally show you which string is which. So for example, today we're changing the high E string, the very high E, this one right here, right? So that one with aquila corde, which are the strings that I use, it's red. So you can see that's red. So now we'll go to step 2. Be back shortly. So you can see here, I hope, that this is red, right? Because this is the high E string we need to change. So I'll put that on the side, and now we want to grab the charango, the high E string, maybe make sure that the one you're changing is the one you're going to loosen, and you start loosening. So this means pushing it away from you. So I'll be right back in a second. I'll keep doing that. So at this point, you'll notice the string starts getting looser and looser, right? You're going to want to keep loosening it, loosening it, loosening it. And then what will happen is this will start being able to just snap through. Again, this takes a while, right? But you keep going, keep going, keep going. If there's a little piece here, you might want to try to push it through. That sometimes will speed it up a bit, but really no rush. So I just got that piece through, and now I will pull on this, and the string now is loose and ready to be changed. So we go here, and most charangos are set up this way in that it's tied like that. There's no ball pin like some guitars have. It's basically this type of, not a knot, but it's a sort of knot that then holds the tension, because putting on strings is all about getting it to the right tension. And that's why there's different gauges of stringers. And the gauge is the width, how thick is it, right? The gauge. You can see on the charango we have many different gauges. The most notable is the E, because you have low E and high E, and there's an octave between them, so you can see the lower one is twice as thick, right? The gauge is twice as much as the gauge of this one. But right, so now we'll want to take this off, and then be right back. Now, so we have the charango, which is clearly missing a string, right? So we know which string we want to put on. We'll always want to start from the bridge, from here, right? Start from here, and then we'll move it along towards the neck, and then we'll start putting tension on it. So in order to put this on, both sides of the string are the same. Choose either one. You can see they're exactly the same. So we're going to want to string it in. On my charango, for example, there's a hole in which to put this through. So I'll just find that hole and then put this string right through it, okay? Great. So you can see how the other ones are done, right? You can see how that knot works, right? And let's see how I can do this. Right, so you always want to leave enough slack, right? Don't leave too short of space. Just keep going, keep going, keep going. So there's plenty of space, because the strings are always much longer than what's necessary. So that allows you, when you put them on, to leave some extra room. So let's go right here. Now this, you want to take it under like this, okay? Under this. And then we're going to, so we're like this now. We're going to go one, okay, 2. Now with some of the thinner strings, you might want to go 3 times. Let's see here, 1, 2. Let's see here, so That looks good. We can already check and see, does that seem solid and sturdy? It does. So excellent. You can see there's quite a bit of string left over there, but that's just fine. It's better to have more than less. And again, the string is plenty long. So we are going to make our way, hello Charango, all the way up now to the tuning peg, right? So you can see there's a hole right here, and we are going to put the string through that hole. So here we are at the tuning peg. You want to make sure, if you're changing all of your strings, make sure that you're on the right tuning peg. That's really important. So in this case, it's easy. We're doing the first string. So we're doing the high E. So basically, you can see that hole right there. We want to, on the outside, go in through here and put the string through that hole. So that's one way that keeps the string in place. And again, make sure you're on the outside of the other strings. You don't want any of the strings crossing, right? So that's real important. None of them should cross because that would be an issue then with tension. You want each string to be independent so you can independently change the tension of each with the tuning pegs. So now we're going to take this, put it right through here. It's going to come right through, and there it is. That's the other side of the string. Now we want to make sure that there's no slack or looseness, because we are going to now wind this string and put a lot of tension. So we don't want it to get loose, or you don't want, as you're playing, the string to get loose. That's really something you want not to happen. So let's make a knot, okay? We're basically making a knot like this. Not all people do this, but I like to do this to make sure that there's no slippage. So then we'll put this through here one more time through that hole, and now we're good to go. So I can show you now. It's not tight and it's not loose, right? The string is about like this, right? So I can move it, but it will stay in place. So now we start winding the string up. So in this case, we are winding it this way. Again, there are string winders available which look like this, where you can go here and then wind it, and they're quicker. I personally don't use one because I like to check as I'm tuning up the gauge. I like to make sure that the string is on well. You can watch as you're going to make sure that it takes, meaning make sure that it looks solid over here and that there's not any sort of slippage. To me, this looks fine. So just want to keep going. It'll take a while. Keep going. So again, be patient. It's been a while now that I've been tuning up, and gotta just keep going, keep checking in, right? So here we have our E, and we got a long way to go. Another suggestion, when you're tuning up, always keep the charango away from your face, because you do not want the string to get too tense and to break right into your face. So always keep the charango away from you. Also, when you sense it's getting closer and closer, take the string and pull it out like that. Okay, you're basically stretching it. These strings, for example, are Nile gut. They're a synthetic string, and you want to keep stretching it, right, to make sure that it starts getting to the right tension. Okay, so we're just about there with the tuning. You can see here, I want you to look right there, what it looks like, okay? So basically, there's a lot of extra string. We can get that out of the way here. This is the end part, right? I would recommend leaving this end part for a day or so, just to make sure there's enough slack in case it requires more of the string to get to where it's tuned. So, as I said, we're almost there. Just a little bit more. You can hear that it's almost there. Okay, and then you want to use a tuner too to make sure, especially if you're changing all the strings. Not so much with changing just one string, but so we're just about there, right? Okay, and notice that we've done a lot of winding, right? Before this was, you know, we put this on and there was nothing. Now you can see there's lots of winds here. So, and again, it's going to take some time. I would say give it at least a day for the tuning to hold, right? You'll notice that the charango, you know, it's made of wood, it's sensitive to climate changes and all that. So you'll notice that it takes some time for the instrument to acclimatize, for the tension of the string to get used, to get kind of set, right? Let's call it that, to get set in place. So yeah, it'll be about a day in which you'll play, and then you'll notice it's gone flat again, right? It's gone, the tension has loosened. So you want to just keep checking in on the tuning. See, it just went down again, and then keep bringing it up, and that's natural. Another recommendation, once you put new strings on, play them. You're going to want to play a lot. That's the best time to kind of help the strings get into place. So, you know, and I can hear now it's already gone down, right? So it does take some time, but yeah, you're going to want to play some, you know, play some rasgueo, some chords, some strumming. You want to really kind of push the strings in order to have them then all tuned up. So we have now successfully changed this E string. Again, there's some leftover slack here and back here. But it looks good, right? Looks really clean, looks really well done, and that will stay for quite some time. So yeah, fantastic. I hope this has been clear and that you now have your new strings on and enjoy playing charango. Any questions, feel free to write or ask, and have a great one. Bye.